May 26, 2001, Floyd Mayweather officially weighs in at 130 pounds, and on HBO's unofficial scales, he weighs in at 139 pounds. June 23, 2001, Manny Pacquiao makes his first fight here in America, facing Ledwaba for the super bantamweight title. He officially weighed in at 121 pounds, and on HBO's unofficial scales, he weighed in at 131 pounds. The confusion in age was discovered due to the fact that Pacquiao lied about his age when he made his professional debut, being only 16 instead of 18. So he in fact was only 22 years old. November 1st, 2003, Mayweather weighs in officially at 135 pounds and unofficially at 140 pounds. 2 weeks later, on November 15th, 2003, Manny Pacquiao weighed in officially at 125 pounds and unofficially at 136 pounds. January 22nd, 2005, Mayweather weighs in officially at 139 pounds and unofficially at 142. March 19, 2005, Manny Pacquiao weighs in at 129.5 pounds and unofficially at 139 pounds. September 10, 2005, Manny Pacquiao weighs in at 130 pounds officially and unofficially at 140 pounds. November 19, 2005, Mayweather weighs in at 147 officially and unofficially at 148. January 21st, 2006, Manny Pacquiao officially weighs in at 128.5 pounds and unofficially at 140 pounds. April 8th, 2006, Mayweather weighs in officially at 146 pounds and unofficially at the same weight. November 4th, 2006, Mayweather weighs in officially at 146 and unofficially at 149 pounds. 2 weeks later, on November 18, 2006, Manny Pacquiao weighs in at 129 and unofficially at 144 pounds. March 15, 2008, Manny Pacquiao weighs in officially at 129 and unofficially at 145 pounds. June 28, 2008, Manny Pacquiao weighs in officially at 134.5 and unofficially at 147. December 6, 2008, Pacquiao weighs in officially at 142 and unofficially at 148.5. May 2, 2009, Manny Pacquiao officially weighs in at 138 and unofficially at 148 pounds. November 14, 2009, Manny Pacquiao officially weighs in at 144, and neither fighter weighed in on the night of the fight. November 13, 2010, Manny Pacquiao officially weighs in at 144.6 and unofficially at 148. November 12, 2011, Manny Pacquiao weighs in officially at 143 and unofficially at 148 pounds. June 9, 2012, Manny Pacquiao officially weighs in at 147 pounds and unofficially at 150. December 8, 2012, Manny Pacquiao officially weighs in at 147 and unofficially at 151 pounds. Manny Pacquiao weighs in officially at 145 pounds. April 12, 2014, Manny Pacquiao officially weighs in at 145 pounds and unofficially at 151. November 23, 2014, Pacquiao weighs in officially at 143.8 and unofficially at 149. Alright, so what you're seeing on the screen right now is a still shot from some tweets that Paulie Malignaggi put out a couple weeks ago accusing Manny of taking PEDs. and he's telling everybody that why is nobody questioning Manny Pacquiao? Because Paulie is 100% convinced that Pacquiao took steroids as he moved up in all his weight classes. Now, this tweet right here that you're seeing on the screen right now is very interesting because he's responding to a fan that said, Pacquiao was only 16 years old when he started his professional career. So, of course, he would naturally move up in weight. But Paulie says, he was a grown-ass man fighting at Super Bantam at mid-2001. He still went up 30 pounds from then with no frame to do so. Not to mention, he's very short. So how does that frame fill up with that much weight cleanly? Just curious, LOL. That's very interesting. So let's go ahead and get to those numbers right now. He said 30 pounds, right? 30 pounds from mid-2001 to when he went up to face Margarito. So let's go ahead and take a look at those numbers right now and see exactly how many pounds Pacquiao went up. Alright, so let's take a look at the numbers. Manny Pacquiao. Let's start off with the age. When he was 22 years old, fighting at the 122-pound weight division. Let's look at the weight that he was at when he stepped into the ring, and that's the fight night weight that you see on the screen. And he weighed in at 131 pounds. So when he stepped into the ring, that's the weight that he was at. That was his natural weight, 131 pounds. Before I get any further with these numbers, many people claim that Floyd is a true welterweight because he doesn't move up 10 pounds, 5 pounds, 15 pounds. And that's true. When Mayweather weighs in at 146, the next day he's either 146, 47, or 48, maybe 49. So many people claim that he is a true welterweight because a true welterweight weighs in exactly at the limit the night of the fight. Okay, not at the weigh-in, but the night of the fight. So Manny Pacquiao's true weight when he was fighting at 122 was 131 pounds. Let's move on to when he was 24 years old, fighting at 126-pound division. He weighed at 136 pounds on fight night. Moving on to when he was 26 years old, making his first appearance at 130. His fight night weight, the first time he fought at 130, when he stepped into the ring, he was 139 pounds. Then the following fight, he was 140. And then the following fight after that, he was 144. So within 1 year, he was 139, 140, and 144, fighting at the 130-pound division. Let's move on to when he was 29 years old. Still fighting at 130. Let's take a look at his fight night weight. He was 145 pounds. And that was his last appearance at 130 when he faced Marquez for the second time. Moving on, same year, same age, but this time he's at 135 pounds. The night of the fight, he weighs in at 147. He's a welterweight. A couple months later, when he fights Oscar at 147, his fight night weight is 148 and a half. 148 and a half. Moving on to when he's 30 years old. He goes down to 140 to fight Haddon. His fight night weight, 148. Now, let's go to the fight where supposedly it was impossible. It was too much weight. And that was when he went up to 54 to face Margarito. And he was 31 years old. Fight night weight was, guess what? 148. I don't see the 30 pounds that Paulie Malignaggi is talking about. Now, I'm not a math wizard, but 131 to 148 is not 30 pounds. That's only 17 pounds. So, from when he was 22 to when he was 31 years old, 17 pounds. 9 years, 17 pounds. And let's not forget, a couple years before that, when he was hitting the 40s, you know, let's say when he was 26 years old, when he was hitting 140 and 144, he was already 4 pounds under the weight he was at when he fought Margarito. So where is this whole 30 pounds? He's been weighing about the same for years. So from when he was 26 to 31, he's weighing the same, a 4 pound difference. And as he grow and he's got older, when he was 29, 145, 147, 148 and a half, 148, 148. There is no 30 pounds that Pacquiao put on. So let's stop with this nonsense that Pacquiao put on these 30 pounds of muscle from when he was 22 till he was 31. Now, I don't know about you, but 22 is not necessarily being a grown-ass man, if that's the way Paulie wants to say it. And to prove that, let's take a look at Floyd. Let's take a look at his numbers real quick, and let's see how much it really matters when you're supposedly a grown man at 22 till, I guess, his current age now. So let's go ahead and take a look at his numbers. But before I go with that, let me just say one more time. Can anybody tell me where the 30 pounds is? I don't think so. So let's let that go. And it's very clear. There is no 30 pounds of muscle that he put on. Moving on. Let's go ahead and take a look at Floyd's numbers. And let's compare them to Manny's. And see where this whole use of PEDs on Manny's side comes from. Let's find out. Let's see what Floyd has done over the years. Has he weighed the same? Has he weighed, you know, dramatically less than when he does now back then? Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it right now and see. Let's find out and get to the bottom of this once and for all. Alright, so let's take a look at this. Mayweather's 22 years old, and his fight weight on the night of the fight is 136. Now let's move on to when he's 29 years old, fighting at welterweight. Let's look at the weight that he was at the night of the fight, and that was 149. So from the time he was 22, fighting at 130 pounds, alright, the fight night weight he was at was 136. And now let's go ahead and move over to when he was 29, fighting at welterweight. His fight night weight was 149 pounds. So within a 7-year span, he went up 13 pounds. Okay, just 7 years, he went up 13 pounds. Okay, from 136 to 149. Now let's look at Pacquiao real quick, in case you forgot. When he was 22, fighting at the 122 division, his fight night weight was 131. And when he was 31 years old, fighting at the 154 pound division, he weighed in on fight night at 148. So within a 9-year span, he went up 17 pounds. 9 years. Now, Floyd wasn't fighting when he was 31 years old. He was in his so-called retirement at that time. But let's not forget that Floyd, he went up to 54 after the Baltimore fight. He went up to face Oscar at 54. Of course, he didn't weigh the full 54, but he was at 150, 151. So, and there's not a huge difference in the amount of weight that these two guys put on over the years. This just the numbers are just too close for one person to be accused of PEDs, but not the other. And that's what has been bothering me from what Paulie Malignaggi has been putting out there, and he's confusing all the fans. I mean, this is similar to the point where, you know, nobody ever blames Pacquiao for the fight not happening yet. They only blame Floyd, but Pacquiao has had some faults. There's two sides to everything. one person can't be blamed, or one person can't be accused without looking at the other side. And in this situation, I don't see a huge difference between these two guys throughout their entire careers. Listen, if you want to believe Pacquiao took steroids, but if you refuse to look at Floyd's numbers and not say the same thing, then you're clearly just jumping on the bandwagon of the accusers of Manny Pacquiao saying he was on PEDs. Do I know he was on PEDs? Can I confirm that he was or was not? Of course not. But I'm just showing you the numbers. Let's go ahead and move on to this final numbers that I want to show you guys. Okay? And that has to do with Pacquiao's recent weight. And how does that tie into when he was in his quote-unquote reign of terror era, when he was supposed on PEDs, when he was supposedly on PEDs, compared to when he was losing fights and not looking the same. So let's go ahead and take a look at those numbers right now, and let's there's some interesting things there that I want you guys to look at, and then we're going to wrap it up after that. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at these numbers right here that you're seeing on the screen. And that is from when he fought Marquez the third time, when he was 32 years old, and his fight night weight was 148 pounds. Now, many people thought that, Pacquiao didn't win the fight, and if he did, he barely squeezed it out. He didn't look focused. He didn't look interested in the fight, but he was able to pull off the win. But what happens next? Now he's 33 years old, fighting at the same division, and this is when he fights Bradley. The fight night weight when he fought Bradley was 150 pounds. This is the first time that he hits 150. And what happens in that fight? He loses. Now you could say, it was a robbery, and that may be true, but many agree that the reason the judges gave it to Bradley was because Pacquiao was extremely inactive. He wasn't throwing a lot of punches. He didn't look busy. He didn't look explosive. He was taking a lot of rounds off. He was fighting 1 minute of every round, taking too many breaks. And he looked sluggish. Well, the first time he hits 150, that's what happens. Too much weight for Pacquiao. A couple extra of those pounds just don't go well with Pacquiao. Then, same year, when he fights Marquez, his fight night weight was 151 pounds. And he gets knocked out. See, the highest Pacquiao's been in weight, cost him 2 losses when he was 150 and 151. Now let's go back and take a look at his next fight against Bradley, the rematch. Now he's 35 years old. His fight night weight is 151. Many people felt that Pacquiao didn't look impressive. He was actually hurt in the fight by Bradley. He had to really work extra hard to win those rounds. And many, feel that if Bradley wasn't injured, Bradley could have pulled off the win. But let's go ahead and take a look at his fight with Algieri, and his fight night weight was 149. He's out of the 150 range, now he's back to the 140 range. And everybody agreed that Pacquiao looked great. He looked fresh, he was more active, he was constantly moving around in the ring looking for Algieri. And does that have to do with his style, his age, or does it really have to do with the weight? And him staying out of the 150 range is probably his best bet. And that's probably why Roach said, hey, if you go back down to 140, he'll be more successful. The knockouts will come back. In reality, the Algeria fight should have been stopped in the 10th round. Actually, in the 9th round. But, that's the ref's problem for not stopping it. Even though everybody agreed that Algeria had no chance of winning that fight. But anyways, look guys, just to recap, if you look at these numbers, I mean, can you really just say Pacquiao, without a doubt, did PEDs, gaining 30 pounds of muscle and this and that and all the stuff that Paulie Malignaggi has been saying, and then look at Floyd and not say the same thing when the numbers are very similar. Look guys, you can believe what you want, but the numbers speak for themselves. The numbers always speak for themselves. So this is just I guess the number aspect of this whole situation with Pacquiao and the PEDs and moving up all these weight classes. But the next video is going to cover the physical side. Okay? And if you see on the screen, you probably can't guess what division Pacquiao is fighting at. He's weighing in for a fight, but you probably can't tell which fight that is in what division. You can try and guess or try to figure it out, but you won't. And that's the next video coming up. And it's going to be solely based on the physique of Pacquiao and how he has looked and how he has changed over the years, if there's much of a difference. Or can you even tell which body of Pacquiao that is, what year, what division? That's going to be the next video. So stay tuned for that, guys. And until next time, see you later.